Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm gonna show you how I paint realistic rainbow trout skin, and we're starting right now. Alright, let's begin. I got a blank from Lure Blanks here, already prepared with a glitter called Salmon Grind, also from Lure Blanks, which is a super cool color shifting glitter. And I'm gonna use that glitter to create this pink line and the pink on the gill plate. So that's gonna be a little bit more special, but I'm gonna show you how I put the realistic skin on there. Right, so I start with some Createx opaque white combined with some 4030 and a little bit of reducer, and we're first gonna make the belly white. And don't be afraid to come up a little higher with that white on the side as well. Right, so now I got opaque black in my chamber combined with some 4030 and some reducer, and now we're gonna line out everything that needs to be scaled. Alright, and now I got a little piece of cloth, it's a little bit wet, and I'm gonna scratch away a little bit of that overspray so that the glitter is uncovered. And that is also because it's almost impossible to avoid overspray when you're freehanding these things, unless you're using masking tape. Alright, for the next step I will be using this really fine mesh from Lure Blanks. We're gonna put that on, and that's gonna create our scaling effect. Right, so now I got pearl white in my chamber. And why a pearl white and not a silver color like some people like to use? That's because if you look at these two, the pearl white is gonna create a much lighter base to work on instead of the already quite dark silver. What do I mean by that? Here's an example. That if I would use a dark silver, then I would never be able to get this back in the colors that I want, because they are already very dark. So now, because I got a white canvas to work with, or a white coat, a very light coat, I can darken that as much as I want, but I also can keep it light. And that is something that I cannot do with a silver color, because you cannot brighten up a silver afterwards. So I got pearl white in my chamber, and we're gonna cover the entire body, and we're gonna try to avoid the head because we don't want any scaling on the head, only the body. What I also like to do, I got some wicked pearl white cores now in my chamber, and I like to add some little bit more of a sparkle on there. Right, so we got our body done. We made sure that the paint is dry. We're gonna take our stencil off now. So our body is entirely dry. The scaling are on there. We still have pearl white in our chamber, and now we're gonna do the head. Alright, so I got wicked detail moss green in my chamber now, and I thinned it down a little bit more than usually. So I was using maybe 30% reducer instead of 10%. So it's a little bit more diluted, and we're gonna do the entire body, and we're gonna give it a very light color of moss green. So I got wicked detail sepia in my chamber now. I over reduced this like we did with the moss green, and now we're gonna do some irregular darkening of that green. So we're gonna shoot from close by, and just in an irregular pattern we're gonna darken that green on the top of the back and the head. So we did all the layering of our colors now, and I do want to bring back a little bit of that glitter. So I got an eraser pencil here, which is very commonly used in the world of airbrushing, and it simply is a very useful tool to scrape away some paint of your art projects. Just the difference is the difference with using a piece of cloth is that I have way more control over this now. I can actually very clearly see what paint I am taking away. Also I can smoothen out edges a little bit more. So I got wicked detailed black magenta in my chamber, and I reduced it with about 50% reducer and 10% of 40-30. And we're gonna put some shadow behind the gilt plates just to give them a little bit more depth again. Alright, so now it's time for the spots. I'm gonna use my paint brushes for this, and we're gonna use opaque black. Right, first I'm gonna use my bigger paintbrush, and we're gonna put bigger spots first. And if you see on a few reference pictures here, then you can see that rainbow trouts have bigger spots often on the head than they do on the body. So we're gonna start with those big spots on the head. And I like them to be a little irregular. They don't have to be perfectly round. The reason why I like to use a paintbrush is because I got full control. I can decide on the size of my dots. I can decide exactly where I want them to be. Alright, so our lure is almost finished. Now you can put a pectoral fin on here if you wish. I'm gonna leave it like it is because I really like to see the entire texture of the body on this one. So I'm gonna just put the eyes on and call it done. These are glass bead eyes from Lure Blanks. These are really nice yellow ones that are gonna fit really well on this lure, I think. There we go, guys. Realistic rainbow trout skin. Time for some epoxy, and then you're gonna see a real difference on this one. Alright guys, our lure is finished, and as you can see, the skin looks very realistic and natural, and that pink glitter just adds that little extra to this rainbow trout pattern. Turned out really nice. As always guys, I will leave a link in the description below for the materials that I used for this lure. If you have any questions or you want to see my take on a certain pattern, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.